deals, things that are happening, information is who you know, because that is the speed of what you know, and that is the make or break for something working, being in early enough to make a project work, the timing aligning to make things work. So that part of networking is the lifeblood of real estate. That'd be my quick answer.
Yeah, I would definitely echo that sentiment. It's all about relationships, and I would say if you're someone just starting in the industry or starting in any industry, you start building your own personal brand the minute you step into the workforce. And in fact, beforehand, Danny, again, is someone who grew up in this community. People knew that he was someone of character and integrity and honesty and hardworking and smart before he even started that. So his brand had been built for a long time before then. And so, I would say that I think that's an important part of it as well, is the networking reinforces the brand and it expands your abilities of who you know, what you know, and your networking evolves over time as well. So it's not static. The people that you know at one point in your life that you might still know in later life, well, they've moved on in their careers and other places and paths. So I think carrying that brand plus those relationships forward, I would just also say, I think networking works best when it is genuine and it is a real human connection. It's not transactional where it's, I want to meet you so you can get me a job. It's really more intended to be honest care, honest investment into other people and other relationships, and then letting good karma catch up with that to make good things happen. I would say networking is important because we have to know who you are as a candidate. And so we will, by all means, advertise through various commonly used sources online. And sometimes we hire recruiters to help us find talented people. But unless we know who candidates are, it's really hard for us even to identify them as a candidate. We often say that the best employee comes in the arm of a friend, too. So we take personal employee referrals of new potential candidates really, really highly. Do you add anything?
No, absolutely. I think that's our business is very typically assertive. Our business is forward-facing. A lot of our business is conducted in front of public bodies for a public hearing, or is it conducted directly in front of our clients, whether that is a tenant coming to meet to discuss concerns or to discuss growth of their company. So for us, networking would be important for a candidate, but we would also be looking for them to, have elements of their own network so that when they come to us or they seek us out, that's part of the pitch and part of the nature of what they are sourcing when they arrive at our door or we have that conversation.
And there are some amazing networking opportunities here in Frederick. So the Chamber of Commerce has some great events, and all sorts of other organizations have these networking events. They're fantastic opportunities for folks to get to rub elbows with a bunch of other folks. Absolutely.
Yep.
But that's not all what networking is. Sometimes the best networking is pulling a beer tap at a community service event next to someone else who's also pulling a beer tap, serving other people in the community. That's a charitable fundraiser for some really noble cause. A lot of times those are actually the best networking relationships that get built because they're honest and they're genuine and they're not so focused on I'm here, you're here, I want to meet you, you meet me, what can I do for you, what can you do for that's very transactional.
Yeah.
When it becomes a real relationship and you're actually side by side on a mulching project, on a Habitat for Humanity or Rebuild Together or whatever those other projects are, sometimes those are the best relationships that get built. You get to see what the character is of the person. They're also committed to the community, so
that's great.
I would say networking is a bigger, broader topic than just doing it online or doing it at a network event.
I think just being prepared when you're researching companies to make sure it's a good fit for you, reading the job description online before you apply to a job to make sure that you have the correct qualifications is always helpful. And then I think just making sure that it's a good fit, something that you want to go into. It doesn't necessarily matter if you have the experience in that field. Like I said, sometimes being someone who has experience in customer service would make you a good fit in this position as a caregiver. So maybe you've never done that type of work before, but you're still caring for individuals. We can train you on job duties, but we can't train your personality to want to help people. So, if it's something that you haven't tried before, but you think you might be interested, you can give it a try.
I think one of the biggest things is not understanding what's negotiable, what's not. Now more than ever, there's this, I have this list of things that I have to have, that I have to. Do you today have to have those, or can it be part of what you're working towards? I think also the big thing that people applying online right now is if a job doesn't fit, if there are 10 things that it says are required and you don't fit all 10, they don't apply. Stop doing that. Please apply. If you hit 60% of them, you never know what's negotiable for the client either. So sometimes people doubt themselves, doubt what their experience is and what they could bring to the company versus what boxes they check off for the company. So if you are 60% of that checklist, apply for it. What's the worst you could get? A no? Everybody gets no's. Continue to put the resume out there. So you want to engage and have as many eggs in as many baskets as possible, but then you may find really your true home. Or you may find that I really thought this is what I needed to do and what I wanted to do, but this opportunity is really where I should have been and where I always should have been. So keeping your options open is probably one of the biggest mistakes that people do because they don't check all of the boxes.